Hi everybody, thanks for joining us again for another review on another car. Today we had a request from somebody looking for a cheap runaround. The budget was about 35,000 Rand. Not easy to find a car of that kind of price that's going to be reliable and not cost you a lot of money, especially repairs and things like that. Chances are if you buy something there are going to be some things to fix. So you got to try and look for something that has some decent, in decent condition that you think will at least last and give you a couple of good miles. Had a little search around, found this Volvo S60 2-litre turbo, 39,900 from RJH Cars. The person's in Joburg, so I found this one at the Dome. Let's have a quick squiz at it and see what it's like, see if it's a possible option here. So 210,000 kilometers on it. Nowadays that's not bad mileage. I mean, this is a Volvo. Volvo can be spoken about in the same sentence as BMW or Mercedes. Good quality cars. People are always worried about buying them, but it shouldn't be any more so than a Merc or a BMW. When it comes to parts and things like that, we know they're known for their safety. And the other thing is not being such a desirable car means it's less likely to be a hijack option and stuff like that. So, and hopefully insurance will be less as well. So I think they're normally very good quality cars. Yeah, safe. This one here specifically, I mean, it's a reasonable size sedan. Enough space for 4 or 5 people, got a nice decent boot, and yeah, definitely would be a comfortable drive. This one's in gold, not a bad color. It's got spare keys are available. Always great when they come with spare keys, something you don't have to worry about then, because the cost of getting a spare key, as we know nowadays, is normally pretty expensive. 2004 model, partial service history. What you'd expect with 200,000 kilometers. So if you did go and buy it, I'd do an oil change straight away and check the filters and stuff. This one's a manual, which is a little bit different. You're often automatic. Petrol, 70-litre tank, so it's going to cost you a bit to fill it up, but obviously the more you put in, the longer you can drive for. Consumption 12.6, so a bit heavier on the fuel. But you have to try and weigh that up between the purchase price and the fuel consumption. Front wheel drive car, it says cylinder layout, it's a T5, just means it's turbocharged, 5-cylinder, 2-litre engine, number of doors 4, seats 5. So there's some of the stats about it from the picture we see here, looking fairly decent. Color of the bonnet looks slightly different to the Fendi here. That could just be the lighting, but just something that you can notice from this picture. Wing mirrors look quite neat. You see the sunroof is open, so it's either open because it works or open because it's stuck. But let's see what happens. Front bumper, definitely some marks on the bumper here, but nothing that looks like damage as such. It's more just scrapes or scratches and things. Fog light looks good. Front wheel looks good, nothing too major going on there. Jumping into the interior of the car, leather seats, can be nice and comfortable. These ones don't look in too bad condition. They always do this cracking and stuff like that, so maybe just some leather treatment on these would stop them cracking anymore. Interior looks fairly neat. With Volvo, especially with these cars, they're fairly plain but functional. Steering wheel, got the different buttons for the radio and stuff like that. Otherwise looks fairly good. Looking at the instrumentation here, we've got the warning light in the middle. Car's idling nicely. Okay, the temperature gauge for outside 13 degrees. Don't know when this was taken, but it seems really reasonable. Anti-skid service required, so not sure exactly what that means exactly. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's brake pads or something, not sure. Got some fuel in the car as well, which is nice. Front of the car, bonnet here looks similar to the fender, so it's probably just the lighting that we saw earlier. Front lights look nice and clear and not really damaged. Fog lights as well looking reasonable. Front of the car, all the gaps around the bonnet here looking quite nice. Just from the front of the car, it looks pretty reasonable. 3/4 view from this side. Okay, we can see some more scratches and stuff on the bumper here. A little bit of misalignment of the bumper. Nothing too bad, but maybe it's had a small little bump. A little parking incident or something like that. Looking at the wheel, looking quite neat. Wing mirror, looking quite good. Just generally looking pretty neat and tidy. Side on view. Wheels again looking quite nice. You'll probably find closer up inspection they need some maybe refurbish or whatever, but with the scratches and stuff, but that's aesthetics. Looks like it's got smash and grab or some tinting on it, so that's always good from a safety point of view. Side of the car looking quite neat. Rear of the car, again, just looking at all the gaps, quite neat. Quite tidy. Tail lights, looking reasonably in good condition. We've got a little ding in there just above the exhaust here, some scratches, but considering the age of this car, not bad at all. Looking at the left side, very similar to the right side. Can't see anything major here. Just looking quite neat and tidy. Let's see what they say under the Decro report. So basically, there's only two things here, which is a good sign. The right side stabilizer link dust cover torn. Okay, so they say it's roadworthy relevant. So that sounds fairly minor. And engine oil leak. Again, car of this age and stuff, not to have an oil leak, it's fairly rare. So it just depends on how bad that might be. We jump into the full report. There's some information here, the VIN number, confirmation of the mileage. License expires 30th of 6/2023, so the car's still licensed, which is great. So looking at the interior, a lot of very good comments here. So even the air conditioner, which often car this age doesn't work or needs a regas, even that's really good. Electric sunroof, very good. So, okay, so that means the sunroof does work. So, electric seats all work. Okay, so looks internally looking good. Exterior, rims are good, doors are good. So, no residual traces of damage. Okay, so just average wear and tear on the car. Vehicle body with several dents and scratches. We saw the dents and scratches. Nothing really major from the pictures that we see. Major damage or signs of major paint rectification. Okay, so it'd be worth just checking the body out, what the paintwork looks like there. Windows are good. The other parts are good. Tires are good. So tire tread depth is more than 3 millimeters. So no tires immediately for the car. Okay, the one thing we see here poor, which we know is the engine oil leak, so hopefully they'll show us a picture of that later on. Exhaust system average, everything else very good. Undercarriage with minor damages, so maybe a bump or two or scratches. Minor defects on axle suspension, so that's that dust cover that we saw. Brake test results. Front brake tests, they're getting a little bit out, but it looks like fairly reasonable front brakes. Rear brakes, same amounts, but maybe could be a little bit better there, so maybe that's at anti-skid control. The tires, we saw they had more than 3 millimeters. What's nice about these is all the tires are the same, which is great. That really helps. Just means somebody looked after the car more than likely. And the spare tire was looking good as well. So let's scroll down to some of the pictures. Confirmation there's a spare wheel there. Coolant level. Okay, that's a coolant bottle. We have no idea what the coolant level is like on this car. Dipstick and oil cap. Okay. Again, bit of a small picture, but looks like there's oil in there. Here's this right stabilizer link. So that's the dust cover they're complaining about is torn. Some pictures of the car. We have had some good pictures of the car already. It's difficult to see here, but it looks like the seat on this car, maybe the bolster on the side here is worn or whatever. So again, just have a look at that, see how bad that is. Maybe that's something that could be repaired. But showing the instrument clusters again, that's all looking good. Front on view, look at the lights are looking nice and bright. That's looking great. Another tip is look at the registration number. The registration number looks like it comes from about 2004. So this means, you know, whoever's owned this, it hasn't had too many changes of ownership. So it's nice to see it's still got the old number plates. Some pictures of the tires. They confirm the tire tread depths were good. VIN number plate. See the underside of the car. You're always going to see some kind of scratches or whatever. There's the exhaust. Engine very dusty and dirty, but not that that's a bad thing. Sometimes it's best just to see it in its raw condition instead of somebody that's gone and cleaned it. Underneath the car, they spoke about an oil leak. Looks like some dark patches here and there. Doesn't look too bad. You can see from this left one also just a lot of dust. Here's the oil leak. Can't really tell exactly where that's coming from. It definitely needs investigation. Not sure if that's part of the turbocharger or what. But again, you need to just see what's if that's the source of the oil leak. Look, I think for this kind of money, under 40,000 Rand, this kind of car, decent size, needs a little bit of work, not too much. I think this would definitely be a good option for somebody looking for a cheap runaround, even though the fuel consumption will be a bit high. But yeah, go have a look at it, see what you think. Anybody else wants me to review a car, please put it in the comments. Do all the subscribe and share and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, if you want to have fun, keep those engine revs up. If you want to save fuel, keep them down. Have a good day, guys.